Hello and welcome to a special at market edition of Profiles in Design. I'm Andrea Lillo with Designers Today, and I'm so excited to be with Noz Nozawa. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to be at market this spring.
Wonderful. So first, I'm always curious, how did you get to interior design? What about it appealed to you?
Oh my gosh, I probably wanted to do interior design my whole entire life. I remember being a little kid running to the bookstore, and where my sister would go to the kids book section like a normal child, I would literally go to the home decor book section and read through pages of bathroom design. That was my thing. So this was always in me, and then of course I went to school for not design. I went to school for business, ended up in marketing for 6-7 years. I was reasonably good at that, but this was bursting out of me, and so by about year 7 after graduating college, I knew this is where I needed to be. So I just blew my life up and started completely over and started a design firm.
But in some ways, like having that business degree and a marketing background gave you probably a richer way to start an interior design business.
You know, it's one way to start. I would say anyone who switches their career, whatever you were doing before, has some way of finding usefulness in design, you know? Because as business owners, we need to know business. As people who work in houses, some of us need to know law. And then the rest of us who went to art school or design school are actually like way ahead of the game.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
That's great.
Thank you.
So this is your first High Point Market. I can't believe that.
Yeah. I'm so overdue. I was like, what have I been doing not coming to this?
So what's your first impression of market when you came here?
It is astoundingly humongous. It's incredible. I can't believe how many buildings, how many brands, how high quality everything. Like, it's so exciting.
Yeah.
And so I'm just I'm like a kid in a candy store, and I have not made it over to the antique section yet, so it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it's like you can never fit it all in.
No,
it's really
I'm
hard.
like, how come it's only for like 5 days?
Yeah.
I'll just live in High Point for a month and do this.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah. But you're here for also another reason. You have a new collection.
I do.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about it?
I would love to. So it's my very first lighting collection ever, and it's with Corbett Lighting, a Hudson Valley Lighting Group brand, and it's inspired completely by my love of jewelry, which is a lot.
A lot. Yeah, beautiful.
Thank you.
How did you connect with them?
Oh my gosh, it was totally amazing. So Sarah Speck, who runs kind of the partnerships and licensing, she contacted me actually in 2020 about the Mitzi line, and at the time I just didn't have something to say yet, and I wanted to make sure that if I was going to put out a lighting collection or any sort of product, it should be useful and it should have a reason to be. Like, I should want to buy it, I should want to feel like whatever we're creating is something that doesn't exist in the marketplace yet. And so at the time I didn't have anything to say. She came back and checked in 2022 and said, hey, we have an opportunity with Corbett.
Yeah.
And at that point I was like, I have been thinking about the fact that I need there to be mega-sized jewelry for me to install as light fixtures.
That's what I love about lighting, is that it's like an art form, and I think of this jewelry, it relates so well to the whole category.
Totally. Well, it's funny, as I got into it, and I love both jewelry, like the nerding out of the process of making jewelry, how you make chains, how you cast metals, how do you cut crystal and facet things. All of that actually totally relates almost one-to-one with the way that you make metal light fixtures and the way that you do lenses for lighting and stuff like that. So there were a lot of really cool similarities, and so I was both inspired by the form of jewelry and the form of lighting, and also the actual process of making each of those categories of things.
Great.
So I got to be really nerdy.
Yeah, and did you take a bracelet and say, I want this to be
that is in fact the Riviere chandelier. So yeah, I fall in love with certain motifs. There are certain times where I'm just sort of looking at rings. Like, this was literally the ring that informed the bezel sconce in the collection.
Interesting.
There are mariner chains throughout the collection, which I'm wearing right here. Like, I literally just kind of threw all my jewelry on the table and was like, what looks like a light and what do I need to make into a light? And that kind of is what started the process. And then from there, the collaboration with the Hudson Valley lighting designers, because they actually know how to make lights, and they also know how to make lights that people can afford. That collaboration point was amazing, because my first designs, they were like, these are really ridiculous, great, a little ridiculous, and also possibly impossible to make. And I was like, fine, then show me.
Yeah. Well, now, but who knows in the future?
Oh,
right?
yeah. I mean, the technology is wild, so who knows what could come next.
So what, do you want to do other categories, or what's next after lighting?
Yeah. Well, I think, so many of us interior designers, we have other kinds of creativity, every single one of us. And so it would be obviously so cool to design jewelry one day.
Yeah.
But in the interior design space, it would be awesome to do, like, rugs is another thing that I consider just like art for the floor, you know?
Right.
And I love hardware, and I love like textiles and wallpaper. So yeah, like I'd love to do all of it, but right now the lighting thing has been so much fun. It has been one of those opportunities for me as a designer who's kind of known for being kooky and a little bit wild and weird and really bold with some of my designs. The lighting has been an incredible opportunity to think through, how do you create a collection of product that so many different designers who have different styles, who work on completely different kinds of houses, might be able to find useful and lovely.
Right.
And that's been really awesome to think outside of my own preferences and think, what does the market possibly need?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Thank you so much.
So I'm always curious, so what's one thing people might be surprised to learn about you?
Gosh, okay, so I'm not doing this. I can sing. That is wild. I'm not doing. Listen, we're filming this at like 11 a.m.
Yeah.
There's not enough tequila in the world. However, the other weird thing is I can't wink my right eye. I've been practicing for like
really?
20 years. I was born without the, like, I can wink this one. Like, I can't. So yeah, so now you have one that I actually demonstrated.
Yeah. So with singing though, so any particular types of music or what?
I love opera and show tunes.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so it's
that's
like
cool.
big. That's why I'm like, I'm not doing it here. I'm going to disrupt everybody's experience today at Market.
That's great though. Hey, you always have to have other interests and desires, right?
Listen,
So-
it's the thing that you do when you're 13 and you're grounded and the radio is playing and you're in your room.
That's
So.
right. That's great. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much,
This has
Andrea.
been
This was
great.
awesome.
Wow. So yeah, and I can't wait to see the collection in person.
Oh my
I will.
gosh, I can't wait to show you.
Yeah, that's great. And thank you for joining us at Profiles in Design at Market.
Bye, thank you.